Hello and welcome to a very special edition of the FPL Fan Show. My name's Conor.
My name's Callum.
And this is the show for you, the fans of Fantasy Premier League.
In this special edition, we're going to be looking at the big one, how to win FPL.
What a question that
Huge,
is.
absolutely
Did you ever think about it?
All the time.
We can dream. Anyway, we saw a fantastic post online by FPL Swede. He basically analysed the most recent winner, Joshua Bull's FPL season. He basically looked at how he won.
Yeah, so in this video, we're going to be analysing specifically how we won FPL, but also throwing in some of our tips and advice to help you crack FPL glory.
Let's find out how to win FPL.
So this first point is an important one. There is no set way to win FPL. All managers play differently. For example, the winner this year went for a more conservative approach, whereas winners in the past have been a lot more aggressive. But with that said, we do think there are some tips that can help you get there along the way.
This next tip is one that we think makes a massive difference. It's don't take too many hits. So what we found really interesting is that the winner from this past season, he did not take a hit all season.
Damn.
Imagine that.
Yeah, no, that's impressive.
Yeah, holding some nerve there, I think. But yeah, it's a really good point. And we actually found that, with a lot of the managers, who finished around the top 10k mark, a lot of them did not take many hits at all. Yeah. So it's obviously a tactic that works. It's something that we also would advise.
Another common trend we found with top managers is saving a transfer when you can. It's really, really important. If you don't need to make them changes in the team, roll that transfer, gives you greater flexibility with then 2 free transfers the following game week. Next tip, Conor?
With the research we did, we found this next tip a really interesting one. So the winner from last season, he kept a core of 4 or 5 players in his team throughout the whole year. Very good tactic.
Yeah, I like that one, yeah.
It's something I try and do myself, and I do think it can help you as an FPL manager because it allows you to kind of, focus and fix the weaker areas of your team. What's your kind of thoughts on it?
Yeah, I do agree with that sort of strategy. I think the big hitters, the one that have historically been proven FPL assets, as you mentioned, focus on the areas that you can improve. But these guys, you're going to end up just bringing them back in your team anyway, so no point wasting them transfers there at all.
And we also have a pool of the same players, don't we? Really, like the Salahs, De Bruynes,
the big hitters.
Trent. Yeah, just we know they're going to do well, so put them in.
So this one goes slightly against the tips that we've previously spoken about, but it's so important to be flexible in FPL, whether it's in regards to changes in the team or injuries. You really have to be flexible in your approach. It's so important in the game to not be emotionally attached to players. So if a player gets injured, you just got to be on reflection, bring him out.
You do, yeah. It's something I've actually had, made mistakes with in the past. I think if I look back at last season, I had Mane for most of the season and he did do really well, but then he got injured. And then instead of kind of bringing in Salah, which was a sensible move, I kept Mane because I had a lot of value, tied up on him. I lost a lot of points there. So you just, if they get injured and they're a big player, just put in another one. Don't worry about it. This next one is very important. It's nailing the captaincy.
Yeah, this is huge.
It is huge.
This is what I always do poorly.
Tell me about it. Okay, so we can't overstate enough how important it is to get the captain right. That's the player that scores double the amount of points for you in that game week. Our advice is always to pick, the big players, the most consistent ones. I think if you're looking at this season, players like Salah and De Bruyne are probably going to be the biggest targets. Lots of opportunities to get points with corners, assists, goals. So that's our advice. I mean, what would your thoughts be?
Yeah, I do think that them sort of players were fixture proof. It's so important, and more importantly, that's why we have correct captain in our weekly show. So be sure to check them out in future videos. This next one is simple. Pick a goalkeeper and stick with him. This is a strategy I've adopted throughout the previous seasons, and it's one that I can vouch for. It means that you can focus on transfers across the entire team and not worry about that goalkeeper selection.
Also, we don't think it's worth spending any more than 4.5 million on a goalkeeper because, we found in the past any of the other goalkeepers that are more expensive, they just don't justify the returns, do they? And our tip for this season is Brighton's Matt Ryan. Next tip, and perhaps the hardest of all, is don't panic. The best managers in FPL have the ability to be patient.
It's important to find value in cheap FPL players. Try and find these players that play regularly week in, week out for their sides, and they'll give you the opportunity to spend that additional money strengthening the rest of your squad.
Yeah, I think this is a really good one. So, if we look at this season, for example, there's 2 kind of players that really stand out for me. You've got Souček of West Ham and St. Maximin of Newcastle. Both priced around the 5 million mark. Both performed really well at the latter end of, last season.
Yeah,
and, as you say, they allow you to invest in the rest of your squad. Callum, I'll put in Firmino in.
Go on, mate. You know that's a bad decision.
No, Callum, I'm telling you, it's gonna work.
Mate, we spoke about this. Don't drink and play FPL.
I'm doing it.
Drinking and FPL lead to bad decisions. This next tip is one that I used last season, and that's balancing both the eye test and stats. I really do think that they both complement each other really, really well, and I think that they both provide real benefits for your side. It's important not to be invested in just one or the other.
Obviously, use as much of the advice that we've given you as you can and the tips that we've offered, but you do need a little bit of luck to win FPL as well.
That draws an end to our How to Win FPL special.
It's been a beauty.
It's been a good one.
If you found any of these tips useful, please do give us a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell. That way you won't miss any of our future videos.
We'll see you next time.